Server Live.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let's get it on.
It is Wrestling Observer Live, and we're live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacifics. Sundays, I think we're taking a pause on that with Andrew Zarian until the first of the year. And Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. It's Jim Valley.
Thicker than a Snickers.
The effing king of recovery.
Faster than a cat with whiskers.
Back because of the fans.
Each and every one of you.
The largest gathering of trailer park trash.
You all fat, neck-bearded, mouth-breathing trolls.
They don't have adrenaline in their soul.
You know, it's the long-awaited return of Saturday night's main event. And I was so looking forward to talking about it. Maybe play some clips, talk about some of my favorite moments over the years. I've often said Saturday night's main event is the quintessential pro wrestling TV show. It's just going to be just a happy little show. Spend some time going down memory lane. But no, we can't have that. No, we can't. I'm exasperated and sad. I'm sad about it. Because along came a lovely young woman, a talented young woman named Toni Storm. And she is, well, there's no other way to say it. She's fried everyone's brains. And I'm depressed.
Down in the cat.
All right. For the remedial students in the back, I will talk very slowly, and I will explain everything about Toni Storm even being on Rampage. Plus, we'll run down Smackdown, spend some time Rampage Collision tonight, and gasp, actual stories in AEW. I swear it's true. Stand by, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
Attention men, here's a great way to have more fun in bed and save money. If you want to take something like Viagra, they can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Yes, $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men to improve their performance and confidence. You'll love them. And now for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get 50 or more for around $100. You'll save hundreds of dollars off retail prices. That's enough to buy your date a nice dinner. Don't pay expensive prices for Viagra. Call now, order 50 or more of our blue pills, and pay as little as $2 a pill and save hundreds of dollars. Call anytime for confidential shipping.
Call Steelman Pills now. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
This vacation offer is so good, I'm going to repeat it. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, even up to the 80s, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for 6 days. All meals included for only $2.99. Again, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. All meals, all drinks, $2.99. We'll even give you a free cruise or land package if you're one of the first 50 people to call right now. Again, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for only $2.99. Be one of the first 50 people to book right now at our luxurious all-inclusive resort. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, even up to the 80s, you deserve a great vacation. So take it right now. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Call now and get a free cruise or land package on top of your trip.
800-296-1437. 800-296-1437. 800-296-1437. That's 800-296-1437.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold.
I don't have my producer today. He's busy with other stuff at the station, so I'm kind of flying without a net here today. Sorry about that. But you get to enjoy the commercials. By the way, don't go to Puerto Vallarta. I love Puerto Vallarta, but that's a timeshare. Don't do that. But to Puerto Vallarta, one of my favorite places to vacation. I actually got married there.
You're listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Wrestling Observer Live, Jim Valley. Wanted to talk about the return of Saturday night's main event. Jesse Ventura, Hulk Hogan, Tito Santana, Coco Beware, Wendy Richter, probably more. But this is why we can't have nice things. SmackDown last night, Jimmy Uso, still on crutches, opened up the show. Didn't say that much, but Drew McIntyre appeared out of nowhere, gave Jimmy the Claymore kick, and Nick Aldis was ever so pissed. Nick Aldis also told Bianca they're still investigating whomever attacked Jade. But she's going to have to relinquish the tag titles. Naomi was right there next to Bianca, said she could be Bianca's partner. So they're the new tag champs. Not suspicious at all. Nope. Not suspicious at all. Michin and Chelsea Green will face off tonight on Saturday night's main event to crown the first women's U.S. champion. Surprisingly, both got clean wins over Tiffany Stratton and Bayley, respectively. And now it's become apparent Tiffany is going to be the babyface in her eventual feud with Nia Jax, as Candice is now Nia's lackey, seemingly taking Tiffany's spot, or at least kind of beginning to push Tiffany out of that spot. In a video package, Roman Reigns challenged Solo Sikoa to tribal warfare on the first Raw on Netflix, January 6th. I wonder if Dana White was upset because he wanted to run on that date. LA Knight fought Solo Sikoa. The story was kind of unusual to me. Like, LA Knight pretty much handled Solo one-on-one. But Solo, of course, got the advantage whenever Jacob Fatu or Tama Tonga interfered. Knight took out Jacob, only for him to return later in the match and attack Knight, leading to the DQ. Really, I expected Solo to kind of crush Knight to give him credibility in tribal warfare, but no. Andrade and Apollo Crews came out to help Knight. They got laid out for their efforts, and that leads to a tag team match next SmackDown, which they taped right afterwards. No spoilers. I'll give you the card coming up. Braun Strowman returned last night. He beat Carmelo Anthony in like a minute. He's going to be on A-Town Down's talk show next week. Cody and Kevin Owens, their face-off never really happened. Cody came to the ring and said he's going to find Kevin Owens, who jumped Cody in the back. They brawled backstage and into the ring to end the show. As I mentioned, because of the holidays, they taped another episode of SmackDown last night. Spoilers, you can go find them if you want them. They're very easy to find. But without spoilers, I will say, here's one tiny spoiler that is not a surprise. They did do a thing next week on SmackDown where Cody and Kevin Owens cut promos on each other and have another brawl. So tonight is not the end of the Cody Owens feud, but I think we already knew that. So not a huge spoiler there. If you're upset, you just started watching wrestling. Solo, Jacob, and Tama Tonga took on, as I mentioned, LA Knight, Andrade, and Apollo Crews. They also had more with Jimmy Uso and Drew McIntyre. The women's tag team champions, Bianca and Naomi, took on Nia and Candice. Johnny Gargano versus Alex Shelley. And then Braun Strowman was on the Grayson Waller effect, which led to a rematch with Braun Strowman and Carmelo Hayes. Did I say Anthony earlier? I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so that's SmackDown next week. And again, props to WWE for giving talent holidays off. You know, the 80s and 90s, early 90s, saw a lot of deaths and a lot of broken families and a lot of wrestlers with a lot of regrets for being terrible fathers. So I'm glad that there's more of a life balance for today's WWE and really wrestlers all around the globe. TNA Final Resolution loads from last night. Joe Hendry won a 4-way over Santana, Steve Macklin, and he pinned Josh Alexander to become the #1 contender and get a title shot at Nick Nemeth at January's Genesis pay-per-view, January 19th. Also, as you probably know, the controversial Tessa Blanchard returned. Also announced Alexander Hammerstone was injured. So his partner, Jake Something, decided to compete on his own against the Rascals. The Rascals hit their finish to win. Masa Slamovich retained her Knockouts title versus Tasha Steelz. X Division champ Moose beat Kushida. And tag champs the Hardys were successful against Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Apparently, I think this was real. Some fan slapped Eddie Edwards, and they were escorted out of the arena, turned over to police, and he was apparently arrested. So don't do that. It's a jerk thing to do. Rampage, Friday night. Matt Cardona beat Brian Keith with radio silence. Chris Jericho on commentary. After the match, Cardona in the ring, Jericho standing at the commentary desk, stare each other down, talk a little smack. Jericho takes off his hat and jacket, slowly goes toward the ring, only to wave his hands, call it off, and walk to the back with Brian Keith. After the rematch, Cardona said to the crowd, he's going to beat Jericho for each and every one of you. Where have I heard? It sounds familiar. I've heard that somewhere before. Deonna Purrazzo beat Shazza McKenzie by tap out with the Fujiwara armbar. Tony Schiavone in the ring. Don Callis along with Lance Archer, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher come to the ring. Callis puts over Murder Machine, also Takeshita, and talks about Kyle Fletcher beating both Ospreay and Okada. Fletcher then says he'll beat Mark Briscoe on Collision because winning the Continental Classic is his destiny. Out come Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis to start the main event versus Takeshita and Archer. And Hobbs and Davis beat Takeshita and Archer. Hobbs pinned Archer with a spine buster. Takeshita tried to attack Hobbs, got a spine buster for his trouble. Hobbs held up the international title while standing over Takeshita. So obviously heading in that direction. A very hard-hitting, good match. Now, earlier in the show, I'm doing this out of order with a reason. Toni Storm, original version, not timeless, beat Harley Cameron with the Storm Zero. Now, everybody's up in arms. How could you debut Toni Storm in her in-ring match, first match back on Rampage? Can't even believe I said that word. Rampage. If I was the Iron Sheik, I'd be hot. Dynamite #1. Kids, this is not the real debut. Let me give you a little hint. When throwing the break, Harley Cameron stuck her head through the ropes with her face right in the camera, yelling right at it. Harley Cameron says, "We'll be right back if this idiot can remember who she is." Now, there's also a moment. Toni Storm is about to do her hip attack. She's in the corner. She's about to do the timeless flourish with her hands, but stops mid-flourish. Announcers make note of it. She stops, then does the hook 'em horns, and then hits the hip attack. Maybe a sign of her mental struggle. Do you think? Now, tonight on Collision, we'll come back. Little spoiler tonight about Toni Storm. We'll talk about this and more. Toni Storm for the kids in the back. Next, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Goodness gracious. What I have to do.
This weekend, do you want to make your partner and yourself happy?
Yes, I do. You know how I do that? I watch wrestling when she's not around. That's how I make my partner happy. Anyway, all right. Oh, goodness. What is it about Toni Storm that broke everyone's brains? It is so obvious what is happening. Oh, well. Wow. It's very windy here in the Seattle area today. Wow. There, of course, is the Randy Savage Slim Jim counter display that a friend of mine got me. Love it. It's great. Anyway, how much time
Paid for by the pharmacy shop. You hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling.
Lurking under the hood. We're still lurking under the hood. All right. Yeah, I don't have little clips to play like Brian. I don't have a video producer. I don't have Jared. I don't have anybody. I'm just here by myself doing this thing. I'm just a one-man show, so it ain't fancy. Sorry about that.
Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more.
The products they sell on this station.
Protect your wallet. Protect your car with CarShield. Get our best protection ever. Call now.
Coming up next, a commercial for an extended warranty.
800-425-2317. That's 800-425-2317.
Attention, fellow conservative investors. What does the name Reagan mean to you? It stands for being the ultimate conservative. It also stands for the Reagan Gold Group. Do you see storm clouds approaching? The stock market hates uncertainty.
Goodness gracious. What are you talking about, storm clouds? You're conservative. Your guy got elected. Everything's coming up roses. What are you talking about? Anyway. All right.
Learn about the one asset that could help ensure your nest egg doesn't crack under economic pressure. GOLD, gold. Call the one name any conservative investor needs to know about. Reagan Gold Group.
800-360-1917. 800-360-1917. That's 800-360.
I used to work with Ron Reagan, Reagan's son. Nice guy.
You're listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live. And there's just something about Toni Storm. AEW Collision tonight. Again, no spoilers. Just a little preview. Willow Nightingale versus Jamie Hayter. Winner goes to the Tokyo Dome in that 4-women match for the International Cup. Okada versus Mortos in the Continental Classic Blue League. No spoilers, but they have great chemistry. Top Flight versus Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Winner gets a world tag team title shot. And a 10-man tag team match. Listen to this. Orange Cassidy, the Outrunners, Commander, and Daniel Garcia take on the MXN collection. Ari Daivari, Josh Woods, and Tony Nese of the Premier Athletes. Now, on the surface, this may seem like a squash match. But let me tell you this. The crowd in St. Louis loved this match. I kid you not. This is awesome chants. I kid you not. This match, I sound like Stefan. This match had everything. Comedy spots, action, high flying. It had everything. So, a very fun match. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe, Blue League in the Continental Classic. If there is any reason to record or watch Collision, and chances are you're going to be watching Saturday night's main event, and that's all well and good. But if you like wrestling, DVR Collision, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe does not disappoint. It is excellent. Now, out of order, Toni Storm versus Shazza McKenzie. Again, another Australian. Rampage, Harley Cameron. Collision, Shazza McKenzie. Here is a small spoiler. After the match, Toni Storm, original Toni Storm, with the mark on the cheek, backwards hat, red top, boy shorts. I guess timeless Toni Storm also had the boy shorts. But anyway, Storms grabs the mic and says, I never thought I'd get to say this, but Toni Storm is officially all elite. Which is what she said after she debuted. Obviously, hinting at her mental struggle. Now, if you were paying attention on Wednesday, Dynamite, when she came out, she did the same wide-eyed, giddy look as her AEW debut. You know what? They're telling a story. I know! According to the shills on the internet, AEW doesn't tell stories. But according to the dummies on the internet, AEW needed to do more with Rampage. And now that it's going away, oh, well, don't do that anymore. Not like that. But you want to know the real reason? People aren't going to watch Rampage either way. People only have so much time for wrestling, and they don't want to spend it watching a secondary show. NXT doesn't draw what Raw or SmackDown does. Rampage doesn't. Collision doesn't. People want to see the best of the best. That's why I expect Saturday night's main event will do very well tonight. I don't know what very well is, the exact number is, but I would think it will do very well tonight because it's a top show. Top stars, top angles, lots of nostalgia. It'll do well. But what I don't understand, I like wrestling. I've watched wrestling for a very long time. So when I say this, I'm including myself, okay? Wrestling is populist entertainment. And that's what appeals to me. One of the things. It's a morality play for the masses. Anyone can be sat down in front of the TV. There's the good guy or good woman. There's the bad guy, bad girl. And you can follow along. It's literally a step above Sesame Street or cartoons. Maybe. But look, like I said, I'm right there with you. It's not hard to follow. In fact, it's very, very easy. But WWE has had zero competition for so long that people think that's the way you have to do it, is the WWE presentation. Fans demand recaps and video packages, and for announcers to spoon feed them everything. Even though wrestling, by its very nature, is already dumbed down. Do you get confused by SpongeBob? Is Bluey too much for your brain synapses? You know, it doesn't have recaps. Last week on Bluey, the family went to the zoo. Oh, thank God. I was lost. Tomorrow, we'll do numbers and colors. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down there, Einstein. All these people who need recaps, who need video packages, should be freaking embarrassed by saying they can't follow professional wrestling without being spoon-fed. Oh my God. Do I need to cut it up for you? Maybe mash it up so it's easy to chew? Oh, it's depressing.
Down in the cat.
Sing it, Otis. Oh my gosh. And now everybody has their panties in a bunch. Maybe even a wedgie. They're way up there. Everybody got their fingers wagging. Because AEW gave away, and I'm using that in quotes, the in-ring debut, and again, air quotes, of Toni Storm on Rampage. You can barely say it without gagging. Rampage. I even had some dummy on social media arguing with me because I said there will be more Toni Storm debuts. And he says, that didn't make any sense. Well, it makes perfect sense. You're not a dummy. You know, I haven't set foot in a school in many years. I read statistics like 60% of adults read at a 6th grade level. That's unbelievable, and it makes me sad. And the word this year from Webster's is brain rot. I read stories about how 20-year-olds are not prepared for the workforce, and I don't know that any of these things are true. I'm not saying that they are, but is this the reason why people can't follow wrestling anymore? My God, it is the easiest form of entertainment. And it's this hard.
Down in the cat.
I have lost faith in humanity. You know what? One more time.
Down in the cat.
Otis Redding, baby. It's just depressing. Okay. How can there be more debuts if there's only one debut? By its very nature, it's the first time. Well, I have 2 words for you. Mick Foley. Can somebody tell me, at the Royal Rumble, was it 2000? When Cactus Jack came out, why did everybody pop? It's just Mick Foley. We've seen him before. We know what he does. Who cares? Why did they pop for Cactus Jack? Same guy. Pretty much same stuff. But yet, the crowd went crazy. I don't know about you, but I, for one, am stumped. Not really. Okay, when we come back, I'm going to explain to you the whole Toni Storm thing. I'm going to lay it out for you, piece by piece by piece. I can't believe I have to do this. It's so obvious. All right, stand by. I'll talk as slow as I can for the remedial students in the back. It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Goodness gracious. I hope the people watching, I hope you understand it. I'm sure you must, right? You're smart, right? You know what we're talking about, right? It's just, all right. It's depressing. Oh my. Meal protein. Oh, goodness gracious. You guys got your Christmas shopping done? Or your Hanukkah shopping? Or whatever you celebrate?
Trucks, motorcycles.
Not ready yet. All right. All right. Yeah, a little dry. A little dry. Yeah, start it.
Keep listening for a free virus protection. According to national research, 1/3 of infected with some sort of computer malware, and 1/3 of you have been a victim of online fraud. Protect yourself now with My Computer Works. We're an 18-year
One of these days,
space company with
I want to do a show on Dom.
Google rating. We've helped you
I have a
protect their
whole thing on it.
for almost 20 years.
One of my friends sent this to me. He sends me random
$1 a day.
wrestling crap.
Get your total PC home support.
He doesn't even know we're like
all our US-based.
I thought that was funny. Do you have friends like that? Don't watch wrestling but get you wrestling crap? I hate when that happens because they usually get me stuff I don't want.
7618
All right.
800-352 7618 800-352 7618. That's 800-352 7618.
All right. I'm just going to go. It's Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live. Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. You know, do I enjoy AEW? Yes, I do. I like the in-ring action. I've watched wrestling a long time. I've seen every angle, everything. And look, I can appreciate angles, but I like wrestling, and that's just where I'm at in my fandom. And if you're in a different place, that's cool too. I don't judge that. But because of my job here on Saturdays, I have to watch Rampage. And, you know, I have to follow all of it more closely than maybe I would otherwise. So, you know, let me explain something to you. So we've seen this week, Toni Storm comes out on Dynamite in her, we'll call it the classic attire. Backwards baseball cap, red top, black boy shorts with the football ink under the eye. She's not timeless. We'll say she's classic original rocker Toni Storm, acting just like she did during her AEW debut. And then on Rampage, can't even believe I said that. Rampage. She signals the hip attack, almost does the timeless arm flourish, but catches herself, does the hook 'em horns. Going to break, Harley Cameron says, if this idiot can figure out who she is. On Collision tonight, she announces Toni Storm is all elite. Do you see what is happening? She's having a mental health crisis. She had it after she lost to Mariah May. She walked off and has been confused ever since. Now, as talented and as appealing as Toni Storm is, original Toni Storm, former World of Stardom champion, first foreigner to win the World of Stardom championship, as original Toni Storm. The money is in timeless Toni Storm. Now, in order to not water down the timeless return, whenever that happens, wink, wink, we'll get to that in a minute. In order to not water down the return, you debut original Toni Storm in the ring on Rampage, where fewer people will see her. Why? But Jim, nobody watches Rampage. That's the point. It keeps the debut of timeless Toni Storm fresher and preserves the pop and the money. I mean, yes, there are some differences between timeless and original, but a lot of the moveset is the same. Now, Jim, you say, when might timeless Toni Storm return? Why do you ask? Well, so depressing.
Down in the and down so low.
I'm having my own Toni Storm mental health crisis. When will timeless Toni Storm return? Well, let's take a look here. Let's look at my calendar. Hang on one second. Well, blimey. There's AEW Grand Slam, February the 14th. Where? Hang on a second. Let me bring up Wikipedia here. What? Wait a second. Put another shrimp on the Barbie. AEW Grand Slam, February 14th is in Australia? Hang on a second. Let me bring up Toni Storm's Wikipedia. Oh my gosh. You're not going to believe this, mate. Toni Storm is from Australia. Oh my gosh. Who knew? Oh yeah. Everyone. Now, do you see? Now do you understand? Hopefully, the blind shall see. Brother Jim, you have cured me. Original Toni Storm debuted on Rampage because they're saving the big debut, the money debut, the timeless debut for Dynamite or Grand Slam, much bigger platforms. Now, there was some idiot on X, X or Blue Skies, you only get one debut by its definition. Now, in a sense, the dummy is right. But original Toni Storm isn't the debut. Timeless Toni Storm is the debut. I can't believe I have to do this. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've seen a lot of people compare this to Cactus Jack and the amnesia angle. I don't see it because that amnesia angle was so poorly done. What I don't understand, though, like I mentioned, at the Royal Rumble, why the huge pop for Cactus Jack? After all, he had already debuted in WWE. And according to that dummy on Twitter, Mick Foley had already debuted. You only get one debut. Why did the fans care? Isn't he the same guy? Same idea with Toni Storm. Original Toni Storm, solid career. Great on the indies, international star, big star in stardom. She was also humiliated in WWE, unfortunately. It's one of the reasons when people always say, oh, they're can't miss. WWE will make them a huge star. It's not always the case. It is often the case, but not always. The money is in the return of timeless Toni Storm. Timeless Toni Storm is the bigger star. She's the one who gets the pops and the reaction. She's the one the fans want to see. And we will definitely see her in a month or so. But right now, even though shills on the internet say there are no stories, this is part of a story. I really want to talk about Saturday night's main event. Just do a nice little show. Talk about the highlights. Brett versus Randy Savage, the honky tonk man. All kinds of moments from Saturday night's main event. Last week, we had Bill Wadhams on from Animotion talking about Obsession, the original theme of Saturday night's main event. Go back and listen to that. It's a very good interview. He's a great interview. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to that in the archives. But no, we can't do that. It's depressing.
Down in the cat, and so low.
But we can't do that. No. We're talking about the lovely and talented, the dynamic, the creative Toni Storm. And I love Toni Storm. She's very well regarded by everybody. Now, it makes perfect sense not to waste her in-ring return on Dynamite because you don't want to overexpose her before she becomes timeless again. Do you get it? Have I spelled it out enough? No, I'm sorry. For those of you who still may not get it, I can't do a video package on it. I can't have Michael Cole come here and talk in sound bites and spoon feed you everything again and again. I can't have a recap. You're going to have to do a little brain work on your own. But it all makes perfect sense when you think about it. Now look, Toni Storm in her current form is great. But the bigger star is timeless Toni Storm. Admit it. At the end of Dynamite, it was kind of expected that she might come back. It made sense she would come back between a match with Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. Made sense. She's got history with both of them. But I think it was surprising that she came back as original Toni Storm. But it's all part of the story. And it makes sense not to overexpose her, because any wrestler only has so many moves, so much material. And this is going to go sometime until February plus or minus. Because it's going to happen. Grand Slam. Toni Storm will likely, as timeless Toni Storm, in front of her home country crowd, will likely retain or regain the AEW Women's Championship. But it all makes perfect sense. And if you don't agree or can't see what I'm saying, then I can't help you. You're already lost. You're not timeless. You're clueless. So, put down your phones. Get off Twitter. Get off Blue Sky. Get off social media. And enjoy the story. Because it's right there in front of your face. I'm sorry they haven't done a recap yet. But it's still playing out. Perhaps on Dynamite, we'll give you that recap. And maybe then the light bulb will go off. But it should have already gone off. Why? Because it makes perfect sense. Like I said, sometimes I feel like I'm the only person watching Dynamite. It's depressing.
Down in the so long.
Stand by, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Sorry about that. So there you go. It's all laid out. Goodness gracious. It's not that difficult. It's really not. There you go. All right. All right. There you go. I'm not getting the chat. It's not working. Oh well. Life goes on. Yeah, I don't think the chat's working, but I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Are we back?
Is so good, I'm going to repeat it. If you're in your
It's an offer that's so good.
60s, even up to the 80s, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for 6 days. All meals included for only $2.99. Again, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. All meals, all drinks, $2.99. We'll even give you a free cruise or land package if you're one of the first 50 people to call right now. Again, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for only $2.99. Be one of the first 50 people to book right now in our luxurious, all-inclusive resort. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, even up to the 80s, you deserve a great vacation. So take it right now. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Call now and get a free cruise or land package on top of your trip.
800-296-1437. 800-296-1437. 800-296-1437. That's 800-296-1437.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history.
All righty. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for being here. Sorry the past couple of weeks I haven't been on video, but it just kind of worked out that way from a technical aspect. So I apologize. Sometimes it's I had to record Bill Wadhams, and it's just easier to do it without video. But definitely go back, listen to Bill Wadhams from Emotion from last week. Talk about Saturday night's main event and being the theme song and all that stuff. Who knows? Maybe someday Emotion will get to play on Saturday night's main event. Probably a long shot, but you never know. Could happen.
620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
It's Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live, Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. Well, I hope we've enlightened you. The Toni Storm stuff it's pretty obvious where they're going if you take the next step. And it's fine that she was on Rampage. Hang on. Hang on, I gotta. Much better. Had to say ramp. Oh, wait, don't want to say that again. Enjoy Saturday night's main event. If you like wrestling, I would watch or DVR Collision tonight. There is some excellent in-ring action, especially from Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. It's a hell of a match. So enjoy all of that. There's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to being a wrestling fan right now. So enjoy it if you can. Hey, I'm going to be leaving X, Twitter, whatever you call it, by the end of the year. So follow me on Blue Sky, jimvalley.bsky.social. So follow me over there. So I'm just trying to migrate everything over there. So please follow me at Blue Sky, because come 2025, I will no longer be on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. But should be a fun show tonight. I hope Jesse Ventura is in prime form. I hope he's been given plenty of notes, so he's somewhat familiar with the product. Is somewhat the old Jesse from we remember back in the day. Should be a very fun show. I would expect a major angle to happen, and just it's the quintessential show. They're going to make it very easy to follow and very easy to understand. So a trip down memory lane, and I think with this new audience, they're really going to dig Saturday night's main event. So I expect it to be a smashing success, and particularly ones that lead to the Royal Rumble in January, and probably whenever it is in the springtime, the one before WrestleMania, leading to a big WrestleMania angle. But whatever that is. Anyway, have a great time tonight. You really can't go wrong with whatever wrestling you watch, or if you watch both of them. It's Jim Valley. Follow me at Jim Valley on Blue Sky, and I will talk to you next week here, Wrestling Observer Live. All right, kids. I think that's it for the show. I think we're good. Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it. For some reason, the chat doesn't seem to be working, so I apologize for that. Normally, I'd go longer, but I don't. If I don't have a chat, I can't really do that. So, all right, man. Well, thank you for being here, and I will talk to you later. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.